Okay, today's craft is quite a simple one, and it's just something to help us think about some of the ideas that we're dealing with today. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw around a hand, because we're thinking about being in God's hands, putting our lives in God's hands, which is a picture about saying to God, God, I want to trust you. I know you are bigger than everything. I know you are the source of life, and you want me to give you my life. So I'm going to put my life into your hands, which means I'm going to ask you to carry me through life and say that you are there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to draw around our hand. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. It's very simple, and I'm sure you know how to do it. So here, so I've got a piece of brown paper, which I've got from recycling, and I'm going to put my hand on it. I'm going to get my pen, and I'm going to draw around it, remembering to be really careful to keep my hand still and to stay right by the edges of my fingers. So here's my hand I've drawn around. You might want to do your hand, or you might want to get somebody else in your family who's got the biggest hands you can, because this hand is going to be like God's hand. So the biggest hand you can. And then you're going to cut it out. Now, when you've cut out your hand, it's going to look something like this. You might choose a different coloured paper. It doesn't really matter. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put some things onto it. Now, you might put onto it some drawing. So you might draw some pictures. Or you might find some pictures in an old magazine or something and do some cutting and sticking, like a collage. And that's always quite fun if you've got some glue and some old magazines. And what I suggest you put on it is things that are important to you in your life, things that represent important things in your life. So it might be your family, or it might be your school, or if you're a bit older, it might be the work that you go to, it might be the fun things you do, it might be the things that you hope you're going to be when you get older, like your dreams for something that you're going to do in the future, and say, God, I'm going to give all of these things into your hand, and I'm going to trust you. And hopefully you will build up a beautiful picture or collage on your hand. And then the last thing you're going to do is, if you can do this yourself, you can, or ask an adult to help you write this. We're going to write a verse from today's psalm, the psalm which David wrote, and it says, my future, the things that are coming up in my life, is in your, meaning God, hands. My future is in your hands. And that is Psalm 31, and you do verse 15. My future is in your hands. And that's like a promise to God, or a prayer to God, that you're going to give your life into his hands and trust him to care for you. So there you go. So there we go. I've drawn some of the things which I think about my future and what I care about, my family, my work, my church, my health, my money, my home. And on the other side, I've got this verse, my future is in your hands. Psalm 31 verse 15. And that's my prayer today, to help me think about that and help me talk to God about that. So perhaps you could try doing that as your prayer today, as you make your hand. And then keep your hand somewhere. Put it somewhere special to you. And then you can look at it another time and remember it, maybe in 10 years' time, and see what's happened and talk to God about it.